Okay, all right. So, let's get started with Rock. Um, Rock is cool because he is another Shoto character. He's got a projectile, a DP, a forward moving special. Rock has all the tools that he needs. He also has a counter, a high counter and a low counter. He's got this overhead kick that's not a real overhead. But if you block it low, kind of like Kai in Strive, if you block it low, it'll be plus. If you block it high, it'll be minus. We'll kind of go over that in the special section. But he's got lots of very basic tools. They all kind of come together to be really good. He also has a command grab. Pretty decent damage off of that as well. And if you get the EX version, you can convert off of it. Lots of good stuff on here. One of the things he does specialize in is like very high damage. So you can put him as anchor. He really fits anywhere, I think. Although he does much better with meter because he gets access to like very strong conversions that leads to very high damage. So be mindful of that, I guess. So why don't we go over his normals? So as for anti-hop and anti-jump, or anti-airs, period. Sand jab is a great, jab because of his height. It makes it even better to stop lots of other types of jumps and hops. This is another good anti-hop / anti-air option. As an anti-hop, this is more of a, whereas sand jab is more of a counter poke. More of a reaction. Stand D is more of a counter poke. So kind of use it like that. As an anti-jump, you're looking to anti-air like jumps that are fairly far. Although sometimes you can just DP it, but if they don't commit to a button, then maybe stand D is a better button. So there's that. For grounded pokes, he's got sweep. Sweep is a good grounded counter poke. Very good range. Can sometimes low profile certain moves. Special cancelable on only on block and on hit, non-whiff. Or actually it is. Never mind. I just didn't do it right, I think. But yeah, super strong stuff. 5C. This got nerfed in the current patch, so now the whiff recovery is just enormous. So be careful whiffing this button. And if this button is blocked, be sure that you special cancel it. So, but it is special cancelable, which means that you can hit confirm it. It has fairly long special cancelable frames, so you can take your time to hit confirm it. Generally, you'll probably hit confirm into one of his special moves. But yeah, this is a great tool. I mean, just the range and the fact that you can hit confirm it just makes it strong on its own. So there's that. I guess you can talk about 5B. It's fairly fast. Kinda, not really. It's just everything's outclassed by this button and its speed. So very good button. What else? Let's go over his air normals. So unlike some other characters, Rock doesn't have a cross up unless they're standing. So this is standing only cross up. Yeah. So if the opponent is crouching, he's got nothing. So try to be careful with your jumps, and especially jumping close range, because the opponent might just decide to run under you because they know that you don't have any way to hit them, or you may just have committed to the wrong button. So again, be careful spacing your jumps. But most of the time when you jump in, you're probably going to be using JC or JD, mainly for how far it hits below you and the plus frames that you get. This looks a lot like Iori JD, and you can kind of use it pretty much the same way as like an air-to-air. It's very fast. Yeah, but that's a jump-in button. But the god jump-in button is JCD. JCD is incredible. It's active for super long. Don't let the startup throw you off. It's active for super long. The angle is super great. It like moves his hurt box, so that's almost non-existent. Although that's been nerfed this patch as well. It's been easier to hit on the I think they nerfed the hurt box on startup, and I believe on when it comes out, I want to say. I can't remember exactly, but they did nerf this button, so be careful using it. It's still the god button though. This is still the button that you want to use, because I mean, just look at the range that you can harass people at. Like, right, like you can just harass people at very long ranges with this button. It's super good. Use it. Again, it's like any other JCD. It has hella plus frames on block. If you're a god, you can also hit confirm this. And something like that, right? So yeah, super good jump in button. This is your go-to jump in. Yeah. JA and JB can be good air-to-airs just because of their speed and their range. So use that as so. Again, JB is your cross-up button that only crosses up on standing. So be careful when you use it. There are some setups, I think, if you can kind of convince your opponent to just stand there. I don't know how you do that, but you definitely could. Like if you're just conditioning them with like JCDs and forcing them to block these, you can maybe jump over them for a JB. So there's that. For pressure, I guess for up close buttons, 2P is plus on block. You can delay cancel it to catch jumps. 2B is pretty much the standard. Has pretty decent range, but yeah, 2B is just standard. You can also chain into 5B, which is good for his hit confirms. So that's an example, right? Yeah. Close A is also hella plus on block because it also chains into, or it also links into 5C. This is also just another auto frame trap. You don't have to time this at all. Whoops. But yeah, on hit, of course, you get the combo. Hella damage. So learn this. It's very good. Off of a jump in, you might try to go for it. Although, yeah, depending on the pushback, it might not be such a great idea. So there's that. But yeah, in terms of close range, you can tech with either C or D. I don't really think it matters. I think you do get a setup off of, yeah, you get a safe jump setup off of this. I'm pretty sure it's a safe jump setup. Off of, yeah, D throw. But yeah, up close, you can use either one. Although close stand D is fairly slow. Be careful when you use it. So generally, if you're trying to mash out on a throw, probably C is okay. But yeah, I think that's about it. Almost forgot. Yeah, 2C is a great anti-air because it hits so far above you. You can catch people trying to cross you up. So this is a great anti-air to have. Make sure you use this because this hits at a spacing where DP is going to move far too forward, and it's going to whiff. So this is great. Use this. Lots of great anti-airs on this character. Let's talk about his specials. So he's got Reppuken. A Reppuken moves slow but recovers quickly. More plus on block. C Reppuken moves faster, recovers a little bit slower. So there's that. The EX version crushes other fireballs. I'm sure you guys know. is plus on block. Yeah, not a whole lot to talk about there for that one. Excuse me. All right. The star of the show, 214A and 214C. So these buttons did get nerfed heavily, by the way. You used to be able to just kind of like space this out and try to make this safe. And it's harder to do that now because it just increased the recovery on it overall. But that still doesn't mean that you shouldn't use it. This is mainly what you want to hit confirm into off of 5C. Yeah, and then so there's 214A, which goes about half the screen, and then 214C, which goes a little bit further, about 75% of the screen. The C version, the only difference is that it has a second hit. It recovers it blows them back a little bit further, and you also recover a little bit slower. So it's harder for you to follow up on and get Oki off of that. Whereas with with A, you can kind of just run up and secure your Oki. So you're sacrificing damage for Oki essentially. There's that. The EX version crumples on hit, which is great because that means you can extend your combo. So something like this might be good, or something like this is gonna be like your main way to capitalize, to spend your bar and capitalize on the damage. So good stuff. Remember to use it. I don't believe this might be projectile invuln. Now that I'm thinking about it, let me check the wiki. I thought I just had it on. Let me double check. For some reason, I remember it being projectile invuln. I've never used it as it though, because super was just better. Let's see. Okay, so I wasn't tripping. The EX version is invuln to grounded fireballs, so not regular fireballs. So you can use this to blow through like Terry's fireballs or Rock's fireballs or Geese's fireballs. So keep that in mind. What else do we want to go over? DP. Rock's ADP is his anti-air. It's also 5 frames startup, so be careful. It's not like a 4-frame reversal. The EX version is though, so you can use it for that. Remember the A version has invuln, but the C version does not. C version has 0 invuln to it. It does more damage, more hits, or actually, does it? Yeah, it does more damage, and it's more hits. But the unique thing about the C version is that you can break cancel it. So by pressing A and B, either as the first hit hits or before the first hit comes out, like this, you can cancel it, and it basically acts as a launcher. You can then follow up with hard edge or a 214A or C. So that's great in combos because, again, don't forget, this crumples, so you can land a free CDP for more damage to extend, right? Whereas you might just do something like this, right? So yeah, this is like free damage on the table. Also, you can hit this off of 6A. And that's important because without it, even though you can connect CDP from 5B, or let me see here, what's like, does this work? Oh, that does work. Okay. And that kind of being able to do that helps you optimize your combos because 6A moves you forward, so you can land that. Whereas if you didn't have it, the CDP would just whiff. So yeah, it's important stuff for his combos essentially. Let's go over his counters. Oops. Why don't I just jump? So A version counters highs and lows. Or sorry, B version counters highs and lows. It does hard knockdown, so you can get a setup off of this. I believe this is somewhat slow. Yeah, 5 frame startup on the B version, and on the D version it is 3 frame startup. So it's slightly faster. Again, you are taking a big risk just doing this counter. I think DP is just still a better get off me option. But if you're like, you know, if you got the reads, maybe you can try for it. So I'll show you the low version. Whoops. Yeah. And I believe the EX version only does highs. Sorry, highs and yeah, the EX version does highs and mids. And it looks like you can get a conversion off of that. So it's a high risk, high reward option. I would be careful using it, but if you're one of those people that really like counters, go for it. What else? Right, so this overhead kick. We covered this a little bit earlier, but on block, if you're crouching, at least the B version, this is 623 A or 623B. If you crouching block the B version, it's plus on block. But if you stand block it, whoops, did not mean that. We'll do this in the corners a little bit easier. It's hella minus, so be careful. But the D version, with a lot more startup, is always plus on block, even if you block it standing or crouching. Of course, the major disadvantage is that it's a lot more reactable. But also, even then, like, even if you convince someone to block it, it's like not that great because of the pushback. You still have to run up for a grab. Let me see. I guess it does kind of set you up for this, though, which is nice. But again, because of the huge startup, I wouldn't risk it. That's a free counter hit punish because they can counter you out of the air and then immediately follow up with whatever, you know, combo. So it's high risk and like medium reward, because even if you hit it, it's not that crazy. And then if they block it, and then yeah, if they block it, it's just, yeah, so it's 120 damage, not a whole lot of damage. If for some reason they get hit, it's just a hard knockdown. If for whatever reason they block it, it's just another mix-up. So it's just okay, I think. I wouldn't really use it, because Rock has just better tools overall to pressure the opponent. But yeah, speaking of command grab, let's go over it. So I believe this is a 20 frame command grab. Let me double check. Where is it? I'm looking at it. Yeah, so it's a 14 frame command grab. So this is actually like on the very cusp of being reactable. So it's actually kind of a fast, if you think about it like in terms of like 3D fighting games, this is like barely reactable. And for 2D fighting games, yeah, this is certainly very hard to react to. But this does have pretty decent range. Right, you can like tick throw it. Oops. Yeah, but be careful. Of course, the range isn't that crazy. It is good, just not crazy. All right. I believe the A version and the C version are pretty much the same. Yeah, pretty much the same. One thing that you can do is actually do what's called a break. So again, kind of like when you did DP, you can, before the first hit comes out, you can press A plus B, and then you can follow up You can do the same thing with command grab, although I don't really see a huge reason to, because it's less damage overall, right? 80 damage versus 115, but you get the added benefit of, hold on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like doesn't even, yeah. This is 115 damage, and you can't really get a meaty afterwards. But if you happen to do this, even then you still can't get a meaty, so I really don't even know. I think this was like a thing. Is that true? I remember reading about that somewhere. Yeah, I swear breaking into the Rapuken was like an option. Maybe I'm wrong. But it is 80 damage, so take it or leave it, I guess. The EX version does that blast, so it wall bounces, so you can get a conversion. This conversion isn't super hard. I've definitely missed it multiple times though, so you know, take that with a grain of salt. If you want to make it easy, you can always spend the EX version, of course. The EX version of EX overhead kick is useful though, because it does get you combo on hit. It ground bounces them, so this is useful because you can use it to extend your combos or to convert like that, which is slightly more than this. So yeah. Yeah, so there's really no like special properties when you do EX version. You just get to convert off of it a little bit better damage. Yeah, oh, almost forgot. So the EX version of Hard Edge, if it hits airborne, does get you a hard knockdown. So I don't know what the safe jumps are off of that because they have changed now. So I would explore that. But yeah, that's all of Rock's specials, I think. Yeah, we can go over some hit confirms. So this is the hit confirm that I use. So just really quickly, that's 2B, 2A, 5B, 6A. Now you can, if you recognize that they start to guard a little bit, that they're guarding a lot earlier, like this, you don't have to commit to the 6A. I sometimes just might do it, but 6A is like hella minus on block, so be careful when you do it. Something I might do is 2B, 2A, 2A, because it is still plus on block. That's not a real like frame trap. 2A, 2A, 5C is not a real frame trap, but sometimes, but because it is plus, people might be less willing to press on here. And also you can kind of space it out to where any light button that they might try to press might get counter hit by the 5C. So that's an option too. That's if you can't get close enough for close A, which again, frame trap since it's 5C. Oh, almost forgot. Yeah, so his blowback, I think people have mixed feelings about this. I like it a lot, actually. It's similar to like Luong's blowback in that it like is one of his longest reaching like normals. It is pretty slow, but I mean you can cancel it as Rapuken. If you catch someone jumping, you can do this, and sometimes like it spaces it well so that Hard Edge is like somewhat safe on block, right? So I like using it. You can use it on like a spacing trap, so like something like this, and then footsies into this, right? And in the corner you get a neat little combo. Oops. something like that, right? So yeah, pretty much if you can get into 6A, you can start meter dumping and doing all that stuff. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot about his run. His run's just kind of okay. I don't know. I'm sure more people, like more rock experts, will tell you like what exactly it's good for. I don't really have a use for it. The EX version makes you go a little bit faster, and I believe changes some of the properties on hit. Yeah, I'm trying to see the difference. I believe some of these things are faster and a little bit more safe. This looks plus. It says it was plus. Oh, just -1 or something like that. Looks like you recover faster from pressing A to stop or D to cross up, etc., etc. I don't know. I feel like it's a gimmick. Some people are like, oh, this is like core to Rock's identity, and I don't know. I like to keep it simple and play with just JCD, Reppuken, DPs, and like just good fundamentals essentially. And Rock can definitely thrive off of that. Let's talk really quickly about its supers. Raging Storm is just hella damage. I believe it is. You can use it like a reversal, but I mean, why would you when you have a regular ass DP that you don't have to commit hella bar to? So there's that. 236. So that was done 236, 236A. There's no difference between the C or the A version. So this move is actually your anti-projectile. It's completely projectile invuln, and so you can use this as such. I don't believe there is a difference between the B version or the D version. There is not. Yeah. The max mode version though goes into an animation on hit, which can be useful if you're looking to like snipe something from further across the screen. Because if you didn't notice, yeah, this had like one hit towards the end over here, which is not great if you're trying to max out on damage, right? Yeah. Let's talk about Deadly Rave. So this is 2 and 4, 2 through 6, 2 and 4, half circle forward, B plus or C plus D. You get this. It does slightly more damage compared to 2 through 6. 6 through 2 1 4. Deadly Rave. So this one is he builds half a bar on hit. But he deals slightly less damage, and now he enters a mode where all of his, some of his specials are buffed. Right, so now like the A version of this gets you a combo in the corner. The B version goes kind of back to the old version where you get a knockdown off of it and more damage. This gets more damage. You can still break it, but now you get that. I believe the EX version just does hella damage as well. So, I mean, lots of fun. I think let me see. I think this gets better. I think it's the same. But yeah. But yeah, that's Rock. You basically sort of just play a Shoto game plan. Get in with your JCDs. You have, projectiles to pressure with. You have incredibly strong normals on the ground to control the ground with. You have a cancelable far stand C that leads into big damage if you want to. Right, let's go over one combo actually. I almost forgot. So that's like a meterless combo that you might try to do. It's slightly advanced. 241 is pretty good. You can also just cancel. You can also just end in 2 and 4A to get better Oki. But if you want to keep it simple, you can always just do 6A into hard edge. So it's whatever your hit confirm will be. into 6A, and you can pretty much do it off of anything. But be careful you do 2B. So again, 2B you can't chain into 6A, but you can chain it into 2A or 5B, which are both chainable into 6A. So you can do something like this if you want to keep it simple. Something like that, right? As for meter dump, if you want to spend half a bar, you have two options. You can do EX hard edge into CDP, or if you want to get a little bit slightly more optimal, you can do something like this. So that does 312, whereas the EX hard edge version does 307. So it's like 5 more points of damage. I believe the EX hard this version has slightly more corner push compared to this, but if you're just looking to optimize for damage, you can do that. The thing about the EX hard edge version is that you have the option to burn more bar in the middle of the combo, so 369 there by comboing into the overhead kick. So good stuff. Yeah, and then again at the end of the combo, you can always insert a super. Here, I'll show you. This is something that you might do. So notice how that after Raging Storm, you can delay the cancel into his level 3. So yeah, the climax cancel window on Raging Storm is super long. It's also very long on this as well. You can wait till the very end, and that'll work. Also, you can wait till you land on this to just do it, and it'll hit. The timing on that is not tight at all. Right around when you're falling, you can kind of just do it. And yeah. I guess you can go for the install. I think the install is super gimmicky. It's honestly just like it's a win more. If you've already spent 3 bars, chances are you're probably going to win the round, and then after that, like your buff goes away. So you basically only want to well, not only, but like, you know, the only situation where for me it would seem reasonable to use would be if you know that whatever combo you're going to use isn't going to kill, but you want to get the buff so that the next hit will kill. Because it does give you half a bar after you use it. So that means you can go in and any hit essentially will lead into EX hard edge, and then you can combo off of that and deal massive amounts of damage. So that's it for the Rock. Your basic game plan is to convince people to block, use your JCD. If they fuck up or if they decide to mash out, you're cashing out with hella damage with your hit confirms. If they're blocking a whole lot, you can go in for this. You do lose the corner, so be careful. But if you've got bar, you can make it so that it hurts. I think this whiffs, but that's okay. You guys get the idea. Yeah, 582 off of guessing wrong once off a command grab is pretty crazy. So yeah, that's it for Rock. Thanks for joining me. If you got any questions, let me know. Bye-bye.